helping you plan your next vacation. This is the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show, presented by BluePlanetVacations.com, America's best travel advisors. Call us now, 801-649-3700. 801-649-3700. And check out the podcast at InsideTravelTalk.com. Here's Patrick Wiscombe and Mark Faldmo.
For another edition of the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show. Hello there. I am Patrick Wiscombe, the vacation nerd, alongside Mark Faldmo. He will be here in just a moment. And if you are brand new to this show, or you've never heard us, or you've been a long-time subscriber, the entire purpose of this radio show and podcast is to help you get out and see the world. And we're going to do that by helping you plan and book your next vacation, or we're just going to give you some ideas of where you may want to consider going on vacation next. And this show is presented by BluePlanetVacations.com, which is Mark's company. Coming up on today's show, we will be talking about how to guarantee yourself emptiness. TSA workers are disappearing. Man, this is ominous already. Starlink coming to more flights, and Globus announcing new tours beyond Europe. And we have some incentives that are going to get your attention. And we have a very simple question. Mark, this is regarding Princess, is it the Plus package?
Yeah, Princess Plus and Princess Premier packages.
Is it worth getting those packages? That's all coming up on today's show. But let's get right to the travel news headlines. Let's start with this story that there are 3 airports that are looking or could replace TSA workers with private security screening.
Yeah, so we talked about this a few weeks ago. It's called the TSA Gold Plus. It's mainly for smaller airports where they can hire private contractors to do the TSA security screening. There are currently 20 airports that use it, including some pretty big ones. But the new airports that are looking to add this are Charleston in South Carolina, Des Moines, Iowa, and then a bigger airport, Tampa Airport, is looking to add this.
Des Moines.
Yes.
In Tampa,
So
that one surprises me a little.
Yeah, so, there's a debate right now. The TSA union is against this.
Of course they are.
Although by federal mandate, the pay has to be the same. And for many of the airports using this, the pay is actually higher than TSA. So these agents have to go through the same training. They use the same machines. A few weeks ago when we talked about this, at many airports that are using this TSA Gold Plus program, it's about 9% more cost effective to use the private screeners than the TSA screeners. So it saves airports money when using this.
Any other larger airports that are going to come online with this idea?
Yeah, and actually one that's already been on, has been on for quite a while, is San Francisco International Airport.
Oh.
So that's a big airport
that is
using this. Other ones are much smaller, like Atlantic City, Great Falls, Montana, Kansas City, another bigger airport, Roswell International Air Center. So the aliens use it. So I think more and more airports are going to go back to private screening companies. Pre 9/11, it was all private screeners. Each airport had, its own company that hired to do security.
25 years ago, world was different.
It was.
So at least we can start entertaining this again.
Yes.
United Airlines is going to sell economy plus seats. That doesn't sound good by itself until you get to this part, with guaranteed empty middle seat. Yeah. Okay.
In Europe, when you buy an intra-Europe first class, this is what you get. You get seats with an empty middle seat. And so I think it's interesting that United is starting to sell their Comfort Plus seats with a guaranteed empty middle seat, plus the extra legroom.
I am all over this one. I know that you just can't reconfigure planes, but if they could just space out the 3-3 configuration just a little.
Yes.
just a little, I would be thrilled. some people just kind of ooze over into the next seat, both seats. And that's when it gets a little rough.
This is good. It'll be interesting to see how it goes and see if it brings extra revenue.
Yeah.
To see if people, they're already paying for extra legroom. Or are people going to pay for that extra space on short haul flights? It'll be interesting. I think it'll work, but we'll see how it goes.
I think it will work remarkably well. Starlink, SpaceX. More airlines are adding Starlink Wi-Fi to their aircraft.
With adding the Starlink, it just makes it better. I typically do not work on airplanes, so the Wi-Fi is not as important to me. But the other day coming home, I was on Southwest on a plane that is fitted with our old internet system, and it was so slow and cumbersome. So it'll be good once this gets across. And there's actually another competitor out there to Starlink now, and it's Amazon's Leo system, which Delta just signed up for.
Are they going Leo?
They're going with Leo, and the reason why is because Amazon won't let Delta do custom branding on the site. So it all has to be Starlink branded, where Leo will let them call it Delta Wi-Fi and all of that. And so it was more a branding issue where Starlink would not let them do certain branding things that they wanted to do.
Globus has announced a new tour or tours that are going beyond Europe. They have a pretty good incentive where if you sign up for one of their new tours, you can save up to $500 per couple on any of the 2027 and 2028 departures. The next logical question is, where are they going?
This is good news because, like you mentioned, we talk about Globus quite a bit. I love doing tours. 2 weeks ago, I did a private tour to the America 250 tour, the bus tour that we reviewed last week. And I love these types of tours. Globus has always done tours around the world, but they've mainly been Europe focused. They've moved in and added 3 new tours that I think are fascinating. The first one is Chile and Northern Patagonia. The next one is Peru and Ecuador with Machu Picchu and the Sacred Valley. And then they've added Southern Australia and Tasmania.
Of those 3, I'm trying to decide which one I would want to go on the most.
I probably would choose the Chile and Northern Patagonia.
Yeah.
Just because I have not been to that area before. And so that one starts or ends in Rio. You fly to Iguazu Falls, then down to Buenos Aires, then down into Patagonia. There's a cruise involved, and then ending in Santiago. That one's a little bit more expensive because it's all by flight to each of the cities. Yeah. That's a great way to see that part of South America. The Peru and Ecuador one thing I didn't mention when I introduced that is it also includes the Galapagos Islands. So you're seeing Peru, Ecuador, Machu Picchu, the Sacred Valley, and the Galapagos all in one trip. Ooh. Now that's a 19-day tour, just an amazing itinerary. And Tasmania, one place I've always wanted to go. So that one starts in Melbourne and ends in Sydney, and then just does Southern Australia with a couple of nights in Tasmania.
They're all 3 pretty inviting. But if I had to choose one, I don't know. Chile and Patagonia, I think my second choice would be the Galapagos, the Peru and Ecuador.
Yeah. And with that discount, the save up to $500 per couple on 2027 and 2028 departures, it does help cut down on the higher cost because those are pretty extensive tours that instead of like in Europe where you can do a bus pretty much everywhere, you're flying from city to city on most of these tours. So,
and see, even that's fun. I didn't realize how much I love flying. Just getting in an airplane and just go.
Yeah, I love it.
Always in this opening segment of the show, we've got the destination spotlight along with the hotel spotlight, and we are going to Hawaii. There are 2 vacations that you can book and you will have guaranteed success. Alaska and Hawaii. And this time we are talking about, are we going to Kona on this one?
Yeah, we're going to go to Kona and talk about a unique activity. I've heard about this, but never done it. It's called the Kona Cloud Forest Sanctuary. This is just 10 minutes away from the Kona International Airport. So you go basically straight up the mountain. You're at about 3,000 feet in elevation. You enter into a cool, misty, tropical cloud forest. It's interesting because it is the only cloud forest in the U.S. And what a cloud forest is, it's where the plants get all of their nutrition and water from the water vapor in the clouds. It doesn't necessarily rain, but just the clouds going through is what
waters them.
Is what waters them. Cloud forest, it's 15 to 20 degrees cooler than if you're down at the ocean level. So it's a nice little retreat there, just 10 minutes away from the Kona airport.
I'm glad you found this.
Yep. So next time I'm there, I'm going to do this. Drive up there, check it out. The Big Island is so diverse. It has almost every climatic zone except Arctic and tundra. It has every other climate zone in the world on the one island. So very diverse.
Let's get to the travel deal of the week. Always in this opening segment, we were talking about Hawaii. We were talking about the Big Island specifically, but the travel deal of the week is to go to Hawaii. It doesn't have to be the Big Island necessarily, correct?
Yeah. So this is for all of Hawaii, and it's save up to $250 with air and hotel packages of a 4-night minimum. And it's coming up pretty quick, the book by date, which is August 16th. So 1 week to get in on this promotion to Hawaii. Can be any island, but we did just talk about that cloud forest adventure. So go to the Big Island and experience that.
You just can't go wrong with Hawaii. You just can't. I mentioned that Alaska's great, Hawaii's great. Take advantage of the offer. If you've always wanted to go to Hawaii, go. Just make it happen. Call Mark in the office. Get the conversation started. Get your deposit down. 888-718-7717. 888-718-7717. And he'll also post this on blueplanetvacations.com. What a great time to be alive. Just jump on a plane and go. Take advantage of it. When we come back, it is time for the Just Cruising segment, the segment of the show that has made us famous around the country and around the world. We'll have the cruise news headlines. By the way, Mark, I don't know if you've noticed this, but MSC, man, they're getting serious about luxury cruising.
They are. Yep.
We'll talk about that next. We've also got the Regent 7 Seas cruises for the 2026 holiday season and a whole lot more. That is next when the Inside Travel Talk podcast or radio show continues. Alongside Mark Faldmo, my name is Patrick Wiscombe, the vacation nerd. We will be right back. Give us about 60 seconds. And thanks for listening.
They've literally traveled millions of miles to answer your travel-related questions. Yeah, they really have. You're listening to the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show, presented by BluePlanetVacations.com, America's best travel advisors. Patrick and Mark will be back after these messages.
The Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show presented by BluePlanetVacations.com contains travel deals, promotions, and offers that may be time sensitive. All offers and information were accurate when the show aired. Travel deals and offers change constantly and are capacity controlled and subject to change without notice. Inside Travel Talk is brought to you by AMA Waterways. From castles to capitals, discover Europe the way it was meant to be seen. By river, experience iconic destinations, immersive culture, and unforgettable moments, all in comfort and style. Whether you love history, food, or scenic beauty, there's a journey waiting for you. To set out on your own river cruise journey, contact Blue Planet Vacations at 888-718-7717 or blueplanetvacations.com.
Imagine watching the sun rise over Hawaii, sipping a tropical drink at an all-inclusive resort in Mexico, or wandering the charming streets of Europe. The best part? Your vacation can help pay for your next one. With Delta Vacations and Blue Planet Vacations, SkyMiles members earn miles on flights, earn medallion qualification dollars on vacation packages, and can earn up to 10,000 bonus miles on qualifying bookings. Wherever you're dreaming of next, let Blue Planet Vacations help you get there. Visit BluePlanetVacations.com to start planning.
listening to the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show, presented by BluePlanetVacations.com, America's best travel advisors. Call or text the show now, 801-649-3700, 801-649-3700, and check out the podcast at InsideTravelTalk.com. Here's Patrick and Mark.
That is the ship horn of Norwegian's Aqua. And then when you hear that, it is time for sail away. And being on a cruise ship as you sail out of port, I think Aqua's coming out of what, Port Canaveral right now? I think. Maybe it's Miami. What a glorious experience it is to set sail for the open seas. Welcome back to the Inside Travel Talk podcast or radio show. I am Patrick Wiscombe, the vacation nerd, and to all listening to the show and boarding this section of the program, ahoy, mateys. Ahoy, and thanks for listening. Coming up in this segment, we have the cruise news of the week. We'll also talk about Regent Seven Seas cruises for the 2026 holiday season. And of course, we've got the cruise deal of the week, always in this segment. But Mark, it is time to get to the cruise news. Let's start with MSC. So MSC Cruises, or the MSC Group, took delivery of Explora 3. So they have Explora 1 and 2. This is 3. And it's the third of their ultra luxury ship for Explora journeys. And they are making a serious run at the luxury cruise market, which, by the way, those Explorer ships, just being objective, are absolutely beautiful. And the experience is unbelievable.
Yeah, they are. And, they're kind of medium-sized ships, but they have the feel of a private yacht.
Yeah. And I think that they have 3 more ships. So the 4, 5, and 6 are on the way. I don't have dates on when those are coming out yet. Probably 1 a year is my guess.
Yep. Probably at the rate they're building them. Just about 10 days ago, the first sailing was from Genoa, which I believe is where the shipyard is, to Rome, Civitavecchia. One thing I like about Explora is they don't do very many repeat itineraries. It's like one continuous world cruise. This ship, its inaugural season, it will go through Northern Europe, Iceland, Greenland, and North America with no repeat itineraries.
That's interesting.
They might have a couple of cruises that depart from Rome, but they'll all be different itineraries. You can probably find an itinerary on Explora that has a port that interests you.
These ships are beautiful. I know the destination isn't the ship necessarily, but man, are you staying in some pretty posh digs.
You are, yeah.
In other MSC news, MSC World Asia has completed its first sea trials. So these are the gargantuan, ginormous ships. So there's MSC World Europa. There's MSC World America, which it goes out of Miami. MSC World Asia. Am I forgetting one? Is there a fourth one? I think there's only 3 right now, but they've got a couple more.
There's only 3 right now.
Yeah.
Yep.
And they've still got a couple more of the world-class ships, the gigantic ships, forthcoming. Sea trials is a good sign that it's going to come online very quickly. Port Canaveral. In case you're wondering where Port Canaveral is, it's about 40 miles, east of Orlando, or Orlando
Yes.
International Airport.
Correct. Yeah.
So Port Canaveral is Florida's. You would think that Miami is the busiest. No, Port Canaveral is. It's Florida's busiest cruise port. And they are said to be investing $175 million to grow cruise terminal number 5 and add a 3,700 space parking garage. And they said that they're preparing for the next generation of the world's largest cruise ships. Translation, sounds like Icon of the Seas is going up there. So, or at least one of the, maybe it's already there. No.
One of them is already there. One of those big ships is already sailing out of there.
I think it's Star.
So they are really working on that port. I think a few years ago, we talked about they were going to do a Terminal 6, and it kind of got scrapped, and they've had to kind of redo what they're doing, but it still is Florida's busiest cruise port.
Regent Seven Seas cruises the 2026 holiday season. So if you've ever wanted to go experience Europe's Christmas markets in luxury, man, Regent Seven Seas is the way to do it. Man, that is some that's right up there with like Explorer 3 type stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think Regent is actually a step up from Explorer, and that's hard to say. Regent,
yeah.
When I've sailed on Regent, absolutely amazing how they do their service, and they're a little bit smaller ships. But I think this is an interesting story. I think 3 weeks ago, we talked about Holland America starting to sail year-round in Europe.
Yes.
And now this is another kind of iteration of that, with a luxury cruise line starting to do that. Many places call them ultra-luxury cruises. And they've announced 56 brand new festive shore excursions and 5 new pre- and post-land cruise programs centered around Europe's holiday markets and holiday traditions. These will focus on Christmas markets, seasonal cuisine, local holiday tradition, and cultural celebrations unique to each destination that they go to.
With each cruise, there is a land program. What are they offering?
Yeah, so you can add these on. So one of them is Holiday Magic in Catalonia. So that's Spain, Barcelona area, where you'll explore Barcelona's Christmas markets, the Gothic Quarter. And then they have one in Rome, which is, you'll see the historic sites of Rome. Rome has a pretty good Christmas market as well. And then they have one also in Italy, Tuscany's Winter Magic, which is where you'll experience Florence and the Tuscany area. This is where you'll really get the cuisine part of the cultural cuisine. Tuscany has great cuisine.
I'm going to assume that the ship have a bunch of Christmas decorations.
Yeah, they will be. And, that's something that I like about all cruise lines, is especially for Christmas time, they get all decked out in Christmas decorations, and it's a really good time. And especially on this ultra luxury Regent Seven Seas, I think they'll just take it a step above all the other cruise lines when they do their holiday sailings.
Regent Seven Seas is next level awesome. Truly. That is some luxury cruising right there. What comes with it, Mark?
Yeah, so Regent is already kind of has an advantage because they're already include most shore excursions. They also include all the dining, premium beverages, Wi-Fi gratuities, laundry, making it one of the more comprehensive cruise experiences available. So it's pretty much all inclusive, even with a lot of the shore excursions included. That just really adds a step up on your vacation where you don't have to worry about a whole lot. You pay the price, and that's pretty much what you'll pay.
How many Christmas market cruises have you been on?
I've not been on one ocean cruising. In fact, these last few weeks when we've been talking about it is the first time I've ever heard of an ocean cruise doing a Christmas markets celebration. I have been on a river cruise, Christmas markets before.
I saw this story and I thought I'd bring it up that Viking is unveiling or has unveiled cruises for Germany's Oberammergau, the Passion Play.
First, we should explain what the Passion Play is. The Passion Play is in the village of Oberammergau in Germany. This dates back to the year 1634. Oberammergau vowed to perform a play of the life of Jesus, his death and resurrection every 10 years if their village would be spared from the Black Death, which it was. And so now every 10 years since the year 1634, they've been putting on this play. The last Oberammergau, I had the opportunity to go to this. It is a full day experience. So, the play is like 12 hours long, and it's all in German, but it's broken up into meal breaks. So you do part of it, and then you go to a meal, then you do part of it, and then you go to a meal. It's a very unique opportunity, and this is something, it's on many people's bucket list. And if it's not on your bucket list, I would say put it on your bucket list. We're talking 3 years out now, and I bet Viking's already halfway sold of these itineraries.
Man, at least they're true to their word. Let the Black Death pass us over, and we promise to do this play every 10 years.
Yeah. I will say it was supposed to go in 2020, but because of COVID, it didn't happen. So
that was the other Black Death.
That was the other Black Death. So they did do that one in 2022, and that's when I went. So this is just 8 years removed, but they're back on their every 10-year schedule to do that. But, Viking has a 13-day Oberammergau trip, which you do a river cruise from Amsterdam to Basel, and then they do the land part, which is Innsbruck, Oberammergau, and ends in Munich. And then they have one that's more Danube, which is Passau to Budapest, which includes Salzburg, and Oberammergau is the land portion of the cruise. If this isn't on your bucket list, it should be. If it is on your bucket list, you should start thinking about booking it now. And as a side note, I'm going to put together a tour to do this. Going to try and get 40 people to do a tour, a river cruise, and an Oberammergau group. And I'll have information on that hopefully in the next few weeks. But Oberammergau is definitely something that should be on your list.
A little bit earlier this week, we received a text question from Harold. And if you want to get in touch with the show, you can send your text or you can call the show at 801 area code 649-3700, 801-649-3700. Harold was asking, when going on a Princess cruise, and they have multiple ships, is the Princess Plus package worth it when booking a Princess cruise? I'm going to say, yeah, I think so.
I think it's worth it. I kind of weigh this every time. I think a few weeks ago we talked about the British Isles cruise that I'm taking. I actually opted not to take the Princess Plus cruise on that one just because of some logistic things I needed to do. But generally, I would say the Princess Plus package is well worth it. I guess we have to break down what everything includes. They have 3 different fares. One is their standard fare. So the standard fare includes your stateroom, the main dining rooms, buffet dining, and then for additional charges, you can do some of their upgraded restaurants. That includes all the things like the pools, hot tubs, fitness center, youth programs. What's not included are beverages, alcoholic, non-alcoholic, and specialty coffees, Wi-Fi, your gratuities. Most of the casual dining venues are not included. They're an additional
it's not
charge.
Included. Okay.
And shore excursions.
What about soda? I heard the other beverages.
Yeah. So in the standard fare, soda is not included.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and then the Princess Plus package is what most people would purchase. This has a cost of $65 per person per day when it's purchased at least 4 days prior to sailing. This is something I usually talk to people about, and we'll book it when they're booking their cruise, because that is the best way to do that. If you book it while you're on your cruise, it's slightly more expensive. So what the Plus includes is everything that standard includes, plus it has beverage package for drinks up to $15. This pays for itself. The prepaid crew appreciation, so the gratuities, Wi-Fi for one device, and then it does include 4 casual dining meals at their specialty restaurants. And then it includes room service delivery. Cruise lines now charge for room service delivery. So if you have the Princess Plus, there's no charge for that. And then it includes other discounts on select higher end beverages.
So you really have to kind of weigh how much Wi-Fi you're going to use, how many drinks you're going to have, and see if that adds up to about $65 a day.
Yeah. And usually it does. When I've added this up, I think where it works out best is on the 7-day cruises. Longer cruises kind of have to weigh it. That's why I decided not to do it on that British Isles cruise that was 12 days long. Then they have one more kind of jump up, which is their Princess Premier package. So that includes everything that Plus includes, and the cost of the Premier package is $100 per person per day. So that can add up. So it includes the drinks up to $20 each, Wi-Fi for up to 4 devices. But really, I just disconnect my device and connect another one if I'm on the other package. So the 4 devices doesn't mean a whole lot there. And then it has unlimited specialty dining, unlimited casual dining, shore excursion credit of up to $300. One thing that might be nice on this is it does include priority seating in the theater and an unlimited digital photo package. Personally, I think $100 per person per day is a little bit steep, but people do buy that.
Yeah. So to summarize, you've got the standard fare, and then you've got the Princess Plus package, which is the one that you're kind of shooting for, or at least that you're saying that that's probably the best deal. And then, of course, the Princess Premier package, which is the $100 per person per day.
That's correct. One thing that those do is it kind of takes a little bit of stress out of your cruise if you buy one of those packages.
Yeah.
One thing that a lot of people ask me about is the gratuities, and I explain how that works. They charge about $14 per person per day for the gratuities, and then they start doing math in their head and they get nervous and they ask questions and they ask more questions. So Princess Plus kind of takes a lot of that thinking out, but you do have to weigh if it's worth it or not. And, again, in most cases, I do think the Princess Plus is worth it.
Yeah, I think so. That naturally leads into the cruise deal of the week, which has to be Princess. So let's do this for Harold. We're going to save you some money.
Yep, we will do that. So, right now, Princess has save up to 40% off, plus the third and fourth guest sail free. And this really makes a big difference in the cruises. I chose 2 itineraries that I've had a few people call on before. One is a 16-day Hawaii round trip Los Angeles. So it's 16 days, 5 ports. So it's a lot of sea days, but the cost on that is amazing. It starts at $1,204.
Oh, wow. That is phenomenal.
Per person. Yeah. And so that's for end of November, first part of December sailing of this year. But what I like about that is you do get the sea days. So it's 5 sea days, and then Hilo, Hawaii, Honolulu, Hawaii, Kauai, and then back to the Big Island in Kona, and then 5 sea days, and then Ensenada, Mexico for just a short stop. That's more of a technical stop.
That's your international port.
That's your international port. As far as cruise values, this one usually, especially if you like the cruising experience, this 16-day cruise is a great way and a great price. I mean, it's normally about $2,000 a person. So, to get that for less than $100 per person per day in the inside cabin is a great deal.
That is a phenomenal deal.
Then the next one I chose, this is a 6-day Eastern Caribbean cruise. So it has the Turks and Caicos and Celebration Key, which is Princess's private island. So again, a 6-day cruise that starts at $464 per person. And this is for the end of January. So kind of right in that winter season when people really want to go. The ports on that: Celebration Key, the private island, then goes to Grand Turk and Nassau, Bahamas. Round trip from Fort Lauderdale.
There is just something special about going on a cruise. So basically the 16-day Hawaiian round trip is 5 days of sea days, sail around the islands for about 5 days, and then 5 days back, roughly.
Roughly, yeah.
Man. And then Eastern Caribbean, that's great too.
Especially for that time of year, under $500. So that's another one, less than $100 per person per day.
Take advantage of that offer. 888-718-7717, 888-718-7717. And Mark will also put this on blueplanetvacations.com. Man, I think you'll be getting a call from me on that one. New episodes of this show are released every single weekday, or encore presentations of the show released every weekday on thevacationnerd.co. That's my website, thevacationnerd.co. And new episodes are found weekly on InsideTravelTalk.com. And this show is available on all podcast platforms. All you have to do is do a search for The Vacation Nerd or Inside Travel Talk on your favorite podcast platform. Well, that's it. We're done. We've done our job. So now it's time for you to get out and see the world while you can, because you never know what curveballs life is going to throw at you. Make sure you are living life with purpose and intention, and we truly appreciate you joining us for the show. Go out, make it a fantastic week. We will talk to you again next weekend. Thanks for listening.
That's it. That's the end of the show. You've been listening to the Inside Travel Talk podcast and radio show with Patrick Wiscombe and Mark Faldmo, presented by BluePlanetVacations.com. Book your adventure right now. Call 888-718-7717. That's 888-718-7717. Thanks for listening. Have a great week.
This segment of Inside Travel Talk is sponsored by Star Clippers. For over 30 years, Star Clippers has offered unique, authentic tall ship sailing experiences featuring creative itineraries throughout the Mediterranean, Caribbean, and Central America. To book your unique Star Clipper sailing adventure, contact Blue Planet Vacations at 888-718-7717 or blueplanetvacations.com.